Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are making a file picker for our image editor, and today is day one. We've not done this at all yet. We've not done this at all, but for context, we have been working on this image editor, and his goal is to kind of replace both GIMP and Paint, right? So we have this not very good. Hold on, wait. We create a background for this thing, then we create a drawing, and we draw on this thing. So we can we can draw some stuff. And we can adjust parameters of our brushes over time. The idea behind this thing is that each brush is kind of like an OpenG or a GLSL shader, right? So theoretically, a user could inject any shader that they want in here and parameterize the brush according to those things. And that's kind of like the idea behind the whole project is like everything that you could want to do. We're trying to make it accessible to do with like math, because like you open GIMP and you go like, I want to adjust the contrast of the image, and you're like, I don't fucking know where like which of the menu items it is, but I know how to like fucking do it, man, like by hand, right? So if I go in here, I have like a contrast shader, and I can be like, just take this thing and crank it up. Like I know how to do that with math, and so I like the idea of being able to be like, okay, here are your shaders, pick whatever shader you want, write whatever code you want, and we'll do it. We'll work from there. And so our current state is that we can't open images right now. We can open images if we pass them in on the command line. But if you forget to pass in an image here, then you're like, you're hosed. You can't do anything. And so we want to fix that. We've also been playing with we've been trying to working on a meme a little bit of being like, it would be fun to make this with no dependencies, or at the very least, like get it down to like only OpenGL. Right now, I think we have STB image to open files and GLFW to open a window and OpenGL. I think that we can knock two of those out. So then we should be able to get down to only OpenGL. And so that's why we're making like our own GUI framework, is because it's like no dependencies is like a good meme. It's a good meme. And so our GUI framework needs a file picker. And so that's the plan for today. Let's just make a fucking file picker. So I think plan of action is probably we have to make some sort of playground to play with this thing. We have to figure out how to like render like a directory, add some icons, double click, add some like navigation, location bar, so some sort of like filter, select many, remember where we are. There's all sorts of stuff we've got to do. And I don't really know how it's gonna fit nicely into our existing GUI framework. I think it doesn't fit perfectly. And so we'll just kind of see where we go, how it falls over as we work on it. But I think some sort of playground makes a lot of sense. I don't really want to work on integrating this directly into the main app yet, because I feel like our GUI framework is kind of designed around the idea that like the GUI widgets don't like do anything, right? So I know that like what's gonna happen, you're gonna like have your thing, and like maybe you click like file, and this like file drop down comes down, and you click like open, right? Boom, you click this opens like a new window on top, probably. Like what happens when I do this here? Yeah, it opens a new window on top. This thing becomes like kind of inaccessible, is typical. I don't know if I want to do that, but sure, maybe the thing behind becomes like not interactable. And then in here, we have like the actual picker. And the picker is doing like a lot of work, right? Like it's showing a directory, and when I go here, it shows another directory. I can like, traverse trees, whatever. You know, there's some things that are just like visual, but some that are definitely not. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna open a second window, right? Picker. And the way that our current GUI framework, the way that the GUI framework works is he assumes that like widgets just draw existing state. When I click on something in the GUI framework, it will like return an action, and the action is kind of like defined by like the application, right? So widgets kind of can like hold onto actions and like send them back out, but they don't really do anything. Then what happens is you have like your app over here, and he sees an action that's like navigate, right? Navigate to some directory would be kind of the workflow here. Then the app does something where he like does the navigation for the file picker, and then the picker like looks at whatever state this touched and like pulls it on the next frame and pulls that state out. So that's why I'm like, I don't really want to integrate this like directly with the application right now, because I don't know where like this state is going to live. So I think it's easier to kind of like spawn off like a new executable, a little playground. We can figure out like a file picker by itself, and then we can integrate after. So let's do file picker demo zig or something, right? And we're gonna do has some main function, and we'll return an error so that we can prove that this thing is integrated in some way. Then we're gonna add this to our build system. So probably somewhere we're probably like add an executable file picker demo, and we probably install that thing. Okay. So you should probably use your own app when explaining drawing something. I can't undo or erase yet, which is really annoying. But I agree. I agree that is a like a milestone that we should do. I want it to be able to make thumbnails that I make for YouTube and do everything I do in Paint right now. And when I get there, then it's like mwah. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay, so we have successfully integrated. We probably want to add GUI dependencies to this thing, and probably all dependencies actually. Let's just add all dependencies to this, and you know we won't use them all, and that'll be okay. I don't really mind right now. And then we should be able to go into our file picker. We should be able to be like, we have like a window abstraction somewhere. Window. Let's start there. Let's try to get a window open. So I think that it's like, we have some window. And I think that our expected abstraction is that this guy starts on the stack in a stable location. Then we initialize him with the idea that he will not move, and so his name will be file picker, and maybe we will have, you know, 800 by 600 or something. Then I think there's some sort of like main loop here, so we have to go like, you know, while window, you know, something. While it's not closed, I guess we probably like swap buffers, and then I think there's like an event queue on here that we have to drain as well. Clear, empty. How do I like discard? How do I fucking, what is this thing? Count. Okay, so that should give us a window. Is there any allocations that happen here? I don't think so. Yeah, this guy doesn't take an allocator, so I guess we're good. Give him a sec. He's thinking. All right. And we have a window. Hell yeah. We're getting somewhere. Okay. So now we do, I guess, get our GUI framework up and running. And I think that the way this works is that we go like, we start with our widget factory. This is kind of like where everything comes from. This guy's looking for some allocators, which means that we need our allocators as well. So I think that we get like our tiny page allocator is the base of this thing. And we're going to say like maximum free elements, maximum free pages. I guess we'll just put like 100. We're not going to have that many. And do we have to initialize this thing like this maybe? Yeah, probably. And then we create our like root allocator, which comes from this guy, initialized. This guy also wants to be init pinned because he has some self-reference going on. So we do, I think it's like this. Then we initialize this guy, init pinned like this, and he wants the base allocator like this. And does he want anything else? A name. A name, you say, root. Yes, this one's the page allocator. Cool. And then I believe that the widget factory also needs like an OpenGL allocator. So I think that this comes from the render library, which is like GL allocator initialize with our root allocator like this. And I think this is like most of the setup we have to do. GUI alloc is going to be a GUI alloc initialized with these two guys. Okay. I think that's almost all of the setup we need. He also wants a scratch allocator. God damn it. Scratch is going to be you know, one of these guys initialized with some buffer. So we'll give him, I don't know, 496 bytes for now. I don't think we need that much. So we can just scratch allocate from the stack. And that should be fine. Should be fine. Okay. Now do we have everything we need? We have to define our UI action. So I guess we have an empty action for now. And then he's going to use that UI action. He's going to take in the GUI allocator here, and then he's going to take in the scratch allocator here. And then he also needs scratch GL. God damn it, one more. Scratch GUI. All right. Okay, so we need to be careful here that these scratch allocators are, the expectation here is that they're reset every frame. So we need to make sure to actually fucking do that shit. This should be scratch GL, I guess. Which this probably needs to be tried. Okay. And now, after all of that, we should have something that we can work with. Page allocator, missing struct. Oh. This needs to come from stood heap page allocator, the real page allocator. Wow, okay. I mean, it's a little bit of, we're definitely in pain in the ass territory on app setup now. But, you know, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. This thing needs to be tried as well. And this guy needs to be tried, our variable. There we go. He expected a render alloc here. Really? Am I high? Scratch GL is a GL alloc. GUI alloc is a render alloc, I think. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Which one? GUI alloc is a render alloc. Scratch is a scratch. GL is GL. Oh, this is render alloc. Oh. My bad. My bad. Yeah, fine. What the fuck is he complaining about now? Expected one argument? Oh, because it's have names. Okay. All right. Jeez. We're getting somewhere. Okay, so now we have our widget state. And now we can start making things out of this. So it can be like widget state label. Can we just like fucking... I guess we need like a factory that is associated with our GUI allocator. Widget factory. Here we go. And now can we fucking make a label? Hello world. Okay. Then this guy we usually feed into like a root runner for the GUI framework. I think it's something like this. So we go like make runner, and we say the root thing is just going to be this label for now. This will change later. And this is the GUI runner here. Does this thing return a pointer? No. And now we go at the very end, we go GUI runner step. We step this thing. And we need to step this thing with some sort of like bounds, I guess. So widget bounds, window size, input queue. Okay, so the input queue comes from the window, which probably means that this discard can go away. Then we need the widget bounds, which I assume, are used. So we get the widget size, we update. I think this might be wrong, to be honest, but doesn't really matter. Okay, so I guess we just use the full screen size for both. So we get the window size, window width, window height, and we can use this as like, he wants the widget bounds. That's crazy. That feels wrong. I'm like pretty sure this is not correct. Widget bounds. I'm pretty, yeah, this doesn't feel right. I think that we just take the window size here. That feels more correct. I guess we might want to like limit this thing. Window bounds is assumed to be 0, 0. Widget bounds, yeah, just like lay this fucking shit out in the window. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. We should like just fill the window with this widget, then get the widget bounds. So we can go like, this is going to be in the top right, top left of wherever the fuck we were. And this is going to be widget size bottom and widget size or height. And right is going to be the width. That makes way more sense. And then we just need to get the window size, widget size. Which is self, like, root get size after this. Yeah, that makes way more sense. I don't know what the fuck we were doing here. Then here, the input bounds. Sure. I mean, that's kind of fine. Yeah, that makes way more sense. So now here, we can just use the window size here. Okay, like this. Gross, man. Getting up and running here was not trivial. Not simple enough. GUI runner step. Oh, because now in the other places where this is used, they're like, what the fuck, bro? Right, okay. Who was the other one? This one's fine now. Expected type this, found that. I think this has to be a pointer. And there's gonna be some action here. We're gonna discard that for now. Okay, so we should see a little hello world on the screen somewhere if we did everything right, which we did not. Oh, why? Because we probably on the scratch allocator trying to load the TTFs. There's probably just not enough space, so. We're gonna do root alloc. I don't know, arena alloc. I think that we allocated like 10 megs on the other one. We can try 1 meg for now and see how that goes. Probably. We are still ooming? That's crazy. This is coming from Canvas. Yeah, this is still using the scratch allocator. Is it really just that like 1 meg is not enough? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's do 10 times 24 times 1024. Okay, so we got close. We see some shape that represents hello world, okay? But it's definitely not doing what I expect to do. Can we just double check that we didn't like break anything else? Yeah, so the other thing is working fine still. So I guess it's probably that we probably have some like GL options that we need to enable that we forgot. Our GUI framework probably requires alpha blending. That seems very likely, to be honest. extremely likely. Oopsies, wrong guy. And it's closer. I see like some letters here. They're very like there's definitely some sort of blending going on here. But whatever this is doing is stupid. I don't know why they're like so thick. Maybe if we clear the background, let's see if that changed anything. Like, I don't know, man. And set the color to like, you know, something. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. So it's probably that like the background alpha blending wasn't really that good or something, or maybe that just looks bad on black text. That's also very possible, or like on a black background. I haven't really tested that. Okay, so we are around. We have finally a little test case, and I guess before we consider the test case ready, the transparent part just went to white. Yeah, that seems kind of likely. Yeah, what's next? We need to like create a file picker, I guess. So I guess this is going to live in the... Okay, so we know that we need like someone has to do work, right? And someone has to display results of that work, right? I guess for now, I don't really know where I want that to live. It feels like a file picker surely is something that like should live in the GUI framework as a whole, like, and go everywhere. It doesn't seem like application specific, but I worry about like this side of things. There's someone having to do the work part. So I think for now, I'm going to just kind of make it here, hard code our specific UI action and stuff, and then we can kind of like dial it back later once we have a better feel for like how this thing actually works. So we'll start with the widget side of things. He has to, you know, fulfill some sort of like GUI framework widget expectation. So he's going to fulfill this like widget API, which is basically this guy. So we're going to say we have some vtable here. And what's he going to do? He's going to, hello, what GUI will be using? The one we wrote. It's ours. Our very own. So this is going to come from the UI widget vtable. Here we have to specify the like generic overload of this thing. So our widget is going to return our specific UI actions. In the future, this will have to change, but for now, this will be fine. The render function, I guess, is going to be file picker widget render. We are going to need this thing is going to have size, so surely we're going to implement that. He's going to be updating himself based off the contents of the application, and he's surely going to be handling input. But I think for now, I guess we kind of start with the minimum requirements. So I think for now we just null out everything that we don't need to get moving off rip, and then we come back. Okay, so now we need to render and get some size. So, how do we do that? We do some Vim macro shit to convert these function pointers into functions. The pixel bounding box, these are UI imports. And now what are we gonna do? So, size. I think that surely our size is going to come from what, like, we're just gonna fill the window. So that makes me think that we should have an update function that can basically cache the size of the window when it is given to us by the GUI framework, or like by like, you know, whoever calls him. So here I guess that means that we're gonna store the thing. That seems pretty fucking reasonable. I guess we will probably default this to 0 and deal with it later. Okay, that means that when somebody tells us what the available size is, we're going to be like, yo, we are a file picker widget. You've called us through this generic API, but we know what we are. So let's do some little pointer casting. Then we can go like, let's stash that shit. So we're just gonna be like, you told us you have this much room. We're gonna fucking take that much room, boy. And then here we're gonna return the size that we cached. And on render, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Let's just for now do something stupid like clear the screen. So let's just make a little temporary skizzer here. And later we reset that thing. Does this guy enable GL scissor if it doesn't exist? He does. So that's kind of hype. So that means that we can just go like set an absolute scissor from 0 to 0 to, I guess, the widget bounds. I guess it's like widget bounds left and bottom. I think it's bottom left. I think. Okay. Then we should just be able to be like, clear the screen here. If we just like clear red. I think that that does what we want. We're probably not using the window bounds right now. Or context even. Oops, I should be using widget bounds everywhere. Okay. So now we just need to make that thing instead of the label. So we're going to be like our file picker widget. Like this. And I guess we need to like pull him out as a widget. So we will say we are like this pointer to this thing, and we're going to return, we're going to get out a widget that we can give to the widget system. Yes, that makes sense. And then the context pointer for this thing is going to be our pointer, and the vtable is going to be widget vtable. Okay, so now down here we can use this guy instead of that label. Okay. And now we should see a red screen, maybe? We did forget the name because we did add that field. I forgot. All right. So it's not red, which is bad. Not good, not good. Is this getting called? I would love to see that being called, which means that like scissor must not be doing what I want, or this is getting called. Okay, let's just do like the stupid thing and turn this off for a second. Yeah, so it's just like not, this scissor arguments must just be wrong. So we are, oi, 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 width, height. Can we maybe log these things? Like this. Let's just see. So we're going from left, bottom, width, height. All right. What are we doing wrong? 0, 600. Yeah, okay. I just typed right instead of left somewhere like a fucking art. No, wait. Is that not right? Left, bottom, width, height. So left, bottom, width, height. Okay, what if we just don't do this part? Do we get red then? Yeah, okay. So I don't really understand what's the problem here. 0, 0. Like if I do like 0, 100, 50, 50. Like, what the fuck happens there? Can we do... I probably want to save this one. This is so stupid because this isn't even like the problem I'm trying to solve. I'm just trying to like... Okay. 0, 100, 50, 50. So, like... Oh! I understand. This should be window bounds calc height minus the widget bounds bottom. That's what it is. Because the zero's inverted. Zero's on the bottom. Okay, there we go. We're so back. Okay. Not that this fucking mattered. But I think we have our file picker playground now. And now I think the first thing that we want to do is we want to like render some directory contents. So this file picker widget needs to like retrieve like directory contents from somewhere. Every frame, he needs to like render the list. So where does that come from? Right? Like, if we're gonna follow the typical pattern of, you know, someone else does the work and this guy just displays it, it means that we need like file picker state or something. File picker like executor. I don't really like that name either. Almost like file picker. It's almost like this is the widget. This is just display, and this is like the actual thing. So we're going to like navigate to some directory, right? That kind of makes sense to me. So I think there's like a directory in here. Maybe storing the path here is nicer. That feels like it's going to be nicer. And I guess he's going to like have some like actions that he can do. Right? So like this widget is every frame going to be like, what are your directory contents? That seems reasonable. And for now, we can just return like a list of strings. And we'll kind of figure out the rest later. Okay. Now, that means that this guy wants to store the contents, probably. And every time that like he changes, every time like somebody asks us to navigate to a different directory, we probably reset our contents. That seems reasonable to me. This probably is going to be, you know, something where we don't really know how many things are in the directory until we actually get them all. And you know, if we wanted to be arena friendly, which I think that we probably want to in general, we could use, you know, one of our like arena friendly list, you know, like runtime segmented list where we say, look, like maybe this thing, maybe like we expect to have some amount, but like maybe we're gonna have more. I guess maybe, but like let's start with this and we'll find out later if this requires some extra work. We can also in here, maybe we could store like a scratch allocator. Maybe it doesn't need to be stored. Maybe this gets like passed in, right? Like when we like update contents here. Yeah, that feels right. Is the runtime segmented list a chunk link list? Yeah, and it like grows kind of like according to page size and stuff. Like it tries its best to not waste any space and like be arena friendly to some extent. Okay. So I think what's gonna happen here is we're going to, these things are long lived. So this guy owning an allocator makes sense to me. That makes sense. And then when we update contents, we're going to be like, here's a scratch allocator that you can use to like figure out what that stuff's going to be, and then you can like copy it out later or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. So I think what happens is here we reset our allocator. We have nothing that we want to think about here anymore. Then we go and we have to walk some directory. So I think we kind of do maybe note that like not owned by us. That kind of makes it clearer. So then we grab our arena allocator and we probably do something. We need to like open the directory. So I don't know. Open dir absolute. Okay. This being absolute is maybe not ideal, so maybe we support something that's, you know, relative. And I think that surely we need like to flag to this guy that we want to iterate him. I think that that's like a special flag that you have to pass in here. If I recall. Yeah. True means the open directory can be used as the dir parameter for functions which operate based on open directory handle. When false, such actions are illegal behavior. I don't know if we need that, so I'm not going to say that that is true right now. Okay, so we have the directory, and presumably we want to like iterate this thing, right? Presumably. And I assume that like iterating this thing is failable, right? Yeah. Because like you might, you know, I don't know, stuff on the file system goes wrong sometimes. And what is our entry here? What is this thing? Name and kind, where kind is this stuff. Okay, so I guess for now, we only give a fuck about the names. So for each name, we're going to be like, we're going to take the name that we found, and we're going to copy it, and we're going to put those into some sort of like, you know, we're going to append this to something. This is going to be like an array list that uses our scratch allocator. We'll call this names. Scratch names is probably clear to us that we won't like fuck that up later. Oopsies, this should be of U8 initialized like this. Okay, cool. Then at the end of this thing, we, you know, allocate however many elements there are of scratch names items len like this. Right, so we do this, boom. And I guess we should probably, just in case we fail here for like error handling purposes, we should clear this so that if we fail, we don't just like point to invalid memory. And then we just do like a memcopy of the scratch names items. And I think that's fine because we allocated each of these with like the arena. Yeah, I don't see a problem there. I don't see a problem. Cool. And then I guess we could even go like, you know, just so that we don't start with like over allocating off rip, we can just be like, oh, probably 100 elements is probably kind of reasonable. Okay, so now get contents is literally just like, here you go. That seems kind of hype, right? And even this could just, this doesn't have to be like that. This would be const, and that's okay. There's no reason. I think this is better. I think heap allocated, so it's fine. Either way, yeah. Okay, so I guess, you know, we're expecting update contents to be done from the main loop. So we're gonna like create this file picker. And this is gonna be like, you know, file picker. And he's gonna be like, path is gonna be current working directory. Allocator is going to be, you know, a split off sub allocator from the root allocator. You know, file picker. Okay. And what was the other thing? Contents. This should just be default initialized. And I don't like that I'm gonna fuck this up later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that spawning the like our inner allocator here is like owned by this. It just makes my life easier. Makes me less confused. Okay, cool. So this is like, you know, we're like allocating this thing with this lifetime, and then he's like, but I have like, you know, smaller lifetimes inside me that I have to deal with. So now we can call file picker. Did we not do it? Oh, it's file picker down here. That's why. File picker is this. Boom. Okay. So now I kind of feel like this like widget thing, I almost feel like he should come off this file picker, to be honest. Like that kind of feels like it makes sense, where we go like get widget, and this guy's like, yeah, like I'm your guy, but like here you can like display this with this thing. You know what I mean? And he just like, I guess we kind of want this guy to like live for some unknown like amount of time. So here we're like, use this allocator. That seems reasonable. So here we're like, we're gonna make a new thing with with the lifetime that you asked for. So we're gonna be like this. Then we initialize this thing, presumably, you know, with do we pass the file picker directly here? Are we kind of saying that this widget is like tied to this exact implementation? I don't really like that. I kind of like the idea of like, this thing doesn't display a directory necessarily. It can, but really it's like displaying like lists of stuff in like an organized way. So I kind of feel like this should be like this. This is kind of like the way we do it everywhere else. So we have like content like retriever. And then this guy just gets a content retriever, right? And then here, when we create our file picker, now we say, look, we're gonna make one of these guys, but like that's based around us. So our content retriever is a pointer to a file picker. And now we can say that our retriever is self, and he's gonna be able to call get contents on this thing now, right? Like we're gonna say that like this retriever has like a retriever API, and get contents is one of the things on there. That seems reasonable so far. Okay. So now we're gonna make our file picker like this, and we're not gonna make this. We're gonna say you are gonna get file picker make widget or something with something that lives for like the lifetime of the app. So this seems kind of reasonable. Okay. This guy needs to be tried for some reason. Why? Yeah, that makes sense. And then I think make widget isn't what we call it. We call it as widget, but it really is making widget. So make widget's a better name for that. Okay, now he says that it doesn't exist, but I can fucking see it there. Oh. I just didn't name it the right thing. Just like 2 seconds ago. Okay, and what's he pissed about now? Oh, because I'm supposed to return the, I think it's file, CTX as widget or something? Yeah. That feels kind of right. Expected type this, found... Oh, because this can fail? Sure. Which means that this can fail. Okay. Oh, sure. So now everybody who's using file picker widget here needs to use the, you know, little self name, because file picker widget is now a function, not a type. It's a function that returns a type, which is very similar in some ways, but not in all the ways. Yeah, it's here as well. True. All right. So what are we expecting to see here? I don't know, like it just kind of work? Okay, so we still have a big red box. That's hype. Hype. I guess we should also be careful, just that I didn't like do something stupid and just like start spamming memory. No, but it seems fine. Kamuna, thanks for the prime. Much appreciated. Okay, so now we can start doing something interesting. We can, in here, on update, we should be able to now call, like, self retriever get contents, right? And here we have to think about what are we going to do with these things? We're going to, like, make label widgets for each of these things initially. Later, we're going to have to do something different, but for now, we're just going to make labels. And we want to make sure that, like, the labels are... How do I say this? Like, reasonable. Like, that we don't, like, regenerate the labels. We don't regenerate all the GPU buffers and stuff every time we do this. So I think that we're going to have GUI text, I think is what we called this abstraction, which is kind of like a wrapper around the idea of, yes, around like having some text buffers that you want to make sure that you don't like make mistakes on or something. I don't really know a better way to say it. Right, that you like you reallocate when you need to. You don't spend too much time. You don't like re-update your GPU buffers every frame. It like pulls the correct spot and stuff. So this guy's gonna have like a directory entry to text retriever in him, and we are gonna have to make that thing. Who's probably gonna be related to the content. I think it's fine. Okay, so dir entry to text is literally just going to be, he's going to have a function get text, which is what the GUI text thing wants. And the reason we're doing it this way is because this guy can now like hold a pointer to someone. I don't know who yet. I guess he's gonna be like an adapter for like the content retriever. Yeah. And so this guy's gonna know that he's like some index. He's gonna represent one index from this thing. Right? So he's gonna be like, retriever is a content retriever, right? And he's gonna be like, my index is some index. And now that means that we can be like, we can say, retriever, however you store your data, get content, which I assume will be cheap. And I'm going to, maybe we can just do it with like self-index here. Maybe this is better. Then if the retriever needs to do something expensive, it can, but it won't in our case, but that's okay. So here we're going to take an index. Uh-huh. And that means that like we probably want like maybe this is like get entry. Yes. And we can call this like num entries like this. This guy returns a usize like this. And this returns like len here. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. That makes sense. So now each of these guys is just like get me an entry from this guy. And that's some text. Now we can stash these like text entries like this. Yes, okay. And this will actually be many of these. We're gonna have a lot of these. Okay, which means that this file picker widget is going to like nuke these like allocations associated with these GUI texts every once in a while. So he needs to also store like his own allocator. So we'll call this like text alloc. And this is gonna come from somewhere. I don't know yet. I think it's GUI alloc because he needs to both render, he needs to split off like OpenGL allocations and heap allocations. Okay, cool. So now this guy is actually going to not store this, but he's going to store like GUI alloc, like, no, not him. Sorry. Here, he's going to take in a GUI alloc like this. And here we're going to use an arena to create this thing. And then in here, we're going to stash the GUI alloc that we're using for this. Does that make sense? We're going to split off text alloc is the alloc you gave me, but like something that we're splitting off for like file picker contents or something. That makes sense so far? Okay, this guy starts being empty. And then the content retriever is passed in. Okay, cool. So now on update here, we check if our list is the right length. So we say like, yo, we got a bunch of text elements here. Are they the right, or do we have the right amount? So if this is not true, then we wipe it. So we do this. We reset our allocator, which means that all the contents are valid. Self GUI text, we set him to null in case something future that goes wrong. And then I guess we repopulate these things, right? So I guess I was wrong. We do new texts is, you know, something like this. Const num entries is this, which we might have called num entries and not num elms. I actually can't remember. This will be, they'll yell at us in a second. Here we're gonna make, you know, that many things of, what was it? SVUI GUI text, GUI text. Content retriever. No. Dir entry to text content retriever. Okay. So we need to like populate all these things. So for 0 to num entries, we're going to go into our content retriever and we're going to like adapt this thing to put it into our like text widget. So we need to make one of these like dir entry to text content retriever like text retriever is this thing. And he's literally just like index is I and retriever is self retriever. Hell yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Which means that we can just be like new texts I is equal to some like GUI text. And do we have to like initialize this thing with something? How the fuck does this shit work? Oh, we call the generic API like this. And so he needs some allocator, which is just our text allocator. Cool. Everything belongs to this thing. Shared, we need some sort of like GUI shared state, like text shared state, which we don't have right now, but we'll get that later. And then we need the text retriever, so text retriever. Seems good to me. Seems good. That means that we need to hold like GUI text shared state, which is going to be, you know, this probably. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. And I think that seems pretty reasonable to me so far. So far. Oh, I guess at the end of this thing, we need to say self GUI texts is equal to new text after everything succeeded. Presumably this can fail, yeah? Yes. All right. Okay. Okay. So this guy just passes in the root allocator, I guess, now. Expected render alloc found alloc. Oh, so this should be GUI alloc, I guess. This is mad because GUI text shared here needs to be passed along. Which, I don't know, man. That means that this guy needs to get it from probably the widget state. Yeah, probably something like this. Okay, num elms. We did not call it that. What did we call it? We called it num entries. I like num entries better. Okay, this guy's mad because probably someone here forgot to write try. Somebody. Who knows who it could have been? Who could have forgot? No field name text shared in, really? Not here. Okay, fine. Fine, that's what we called it. Okay, so now what are we expecting? Nothing, I guess, because we're not actually rendering these things. So I guess we need to do that. Okay, so we need to render them. Which we say render them with some transform. Who the fuck else does this? What is this supposed to look like? So we just say render it in some block. So I see. We probably are supposed to look for his size, then figure out where he belongs on the screen relative to that. So we say like, I guess for now, we'll just put them all vertically. How do I know, like, my text height? Maybe I should just be using labels here. Like, I could just put these in labels in a layout, but that will make it harder, I think, later to do, like, selection and stuff. So, like, how... What is size here? Layout bounds height. Yeah, shouldn't these guys have, like, a minimum, like, line height or something that's associated with this in some way? They should. They should, so... I wonder where that fucking comes from. I know that we have, like, this, like, text parser, and surely in here, line height exists. Does anybody call that in the GUI framework? TTF, this is, TTF. So it's literally only called in the text renderer, which the GUI text has. This is stashed here in the layout helper. Okay. And then is line height used? It's only used like... yeah, okay, I see. It's every time the line, every time we like advance in Y, the line height is jumped. Okay. I think that we probably have, yeah, we have a fix me about this where we're like, we should render according to some baseline, but we don't do that right now. Okay, so we're just like, we have some text. It has like, we take like some text and we just draw like a small box around it, right? So if they write like, you know, if somebody wrote like I, there we're gonna draw this box. But then if somebody writes I J, we're gonna draw this box, which is like fucking stupid. But we will just live with that stupidity for now because it's the way everything else works. We probably want each element to have like a fixed size anyways though. So can we just be like item height here? And we will just advance by item height every time. So yeah, that seems fine. So here we go, like, I guess we start here with widget bounds top, and we just like go down as we go down. Okay, so the text bounds is gonna be some sort of like pixel box, and the left is just gonna come from, you know, wherever the fuck the widget lives. Right is going to be left plus the size width. The top is going to be the Y offset, and the bottom going to be this plus size height. Okay. And then we can just render this thing in that spot. So we can calculate the transform with, you know, like, we take the text bounds and we stick it in the window bounds, and then we render it. Okay. That should give us this. I guess every time we do this, we need to do y offs plus equals self dot item height. And then we just like specify an item height somewhere. And then I think we can get this from somewhere. Surely we have like line heights. I am pretty fucking sure. So I think that like in widget state, when we construct like the state for all of our widgets, we figure out the line height in pixels here. Yes. Which is just the unit. So we can call that for fine. Yeah, for now it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just put a fix me on it. Okay. Can we make this a little prettier? So for now, we'll just put a fix me, like, get from somewhere more reasonable, but we'll do widget state TTF line, like, where did that come from? TTF, it's for text. Okay. This will work for now. This will work for now. We just need to import that library. Okay. This will work for now. And then we probably want to like... Is this not in here yet? Is font size. Really? Is this not stored anywhere? God damn it, dude. Is it in the text renderer? Here? Point size. Valigo, hello. Thanks for the raid. What's up, everybody? What is up? We are working on a file picker. We'll get there eventually, but we're not quite there yet. We've constructed our widgets, and we're just trying to, we've constructed our first like a widget, and we are doing our best to display the contents of a directory based off that thing. And we will see how it goes. Top here is pissed off because it's... yeah, I32 seems more reasonable. Fuck it. Okay, we see nothing. That's not good. That is not good. So I guess we want to start maybe by checking if these things exist at all. So rendering item. And maybe we even say, you know, we could take a little peek at how many there are. So we are seeing no elements, which is bad. That's, I mean, it's kind of good in some ways, bad in others. Is this GUI immediate mode or retained? I don't really know what the difference is. I like kind of understand, like, I know them by feel, right? So I know that like Qt is retained, and I know that like ImGUI is immediate. I feel like what we're doing is something like kind of hybrid. So we create like long-lived widgets, but they are relayed out and like they're relayed out every frame. My issue with like immediate mode, like full immediate mode GUIs, is that I feel like they lie. Right? If you have like an animation on a widget, that animation lives across multiple frames, and in the immediate mode GUI, you're like reconstructing the widget and then finding in your database of widget IDs, like, oh, this is probably the widget that was there last time, but you don't like really know. So I take the idea of being like relay out every frame. Fuck it, it's cheap, right? It doesn't matter. But I don't like the idea of having things being like fully ephemeral because they're not. So I don't really know what that puts me at. I feel like it's way less heavy-handed than something like Qt. You don't retain layout, just properties. Yeah, yeah, and sizes, I guess. Right. Every frame we do like an update where we say here's like what's available to you, and then like we'll like stash that size for when we go to render, and we need to like render according to that size or something. But I would say it's like fairly immediate. It feels immediate to me. At least like things don't like lag in the GUI, right? They're like they're pulling data from the app like every frame like they're supposed to and stuff like that. So all right. So why the fuck do we have no GUI texts? That kind of implies that num entries is returning 0 here. That's kind of what that implies to me. Because we did never update the entries. We did never say, hey, please actually check what's in this directory. We forgot to do that part. Error union is ignored somewhere. Here. And then also I forgot that we should make a best effort to restore the scratch arena, the scratch allocator when we're done. So we'll checkpoint it. Not that it really matters at this point, but later it will. So we will restore according to that checkpoint. So we don't need to, you know, allocate forever and ever. 60. This guy's mad because no function name append in an array list. Are you kidding me? Oh, because init capacity can fail. True. But yeah, good luck having finding alert before bed. People happy. Yeah, all right. Have a good one. Thanks for the raid again, man. Expected type U8. So this has to be like this. And then this needs to be... Am I stupid? Scratch names is... Yeah, this is supposed to be slices. And then probably const. And another allocation that I forgot to write try on. Okay. Bing, bang, boom. Cannot mem copy to constant pointer. Oh, sure. So this has to be non-const. Okay, so now he thinks he's rendering items. But very clearly he's not. So that's an improvement for sure. What do we do wrong here? Can we write the bounds? Let's see if we're doing something just like brain dead here. Left 0. Left 0, right 0 looks pretty fucking dumb. Not gonna lie. Size width being 0 seems pretty bad. What is like going on here? Did we not set like the content of this thing? Like, I think we stashed the last updated text in there. Oh, that's annoying. That is not trivial. Can we runtime segmented list? Can we just like, do something that's like as slice or like to slice? This guy's going to take in like an allocator, and he's going to be like, we're gonna like allocate, you know, some amount of like stuff that's in this like list, and then we're going to with so like this many items. This is annoying. This is so annoying. I guess like a format is actually maybe nicer. So the problem here is that like this guy is storing one of these like segmented lists. So the GUI text, when he caches the text, he's like, I'm gonna like get some stuff in here, but I don't really know how long it's gonna be, but I want to be allocated with an arena. So I'm gonna make it like stitch some like, you know, chunks of shit together. Which is not like super nice if we're just trying to print out what the stuff that he's cached is. So what we can do is I think making a formatter here is probably nicer. Yeah, we can probably do like, I don't really know where I want this to live, so we'll find a place to it, but we'll say format string segmented list here. This is going to take in, I guess, a this is going to create a formatter. String segmented list formatter. Yes, that's how this works. And then in here we get like the list. So there's going to be like a utility. Hello, there we go. Runtime segment list of U8. Probably is a pointer. Then you need to implement like format, which is going to have like some API. I don't remember what it is. There's some writer that comes in. And I think that we just go like for, we get like self in here as well. And then we like get each of the like slices out of this thing. And we just like write each of these directly while IT next, we get like a slice, and we like writer write all of the slice. Yeah, it's like gonna be something like this. And I guess we make a little init function. Sure. Okay. I don't know, man. It's so long. Can we go like you segment? I guess it's fine. It's fine. We'll make it work. Okay, so here now we should be able to be like, string this thing. Now we format the text like this, and now he's mad because I didn't finish deleting the stuff here. Okay. Now he's mad because I forgot to put an ampersand on this guy. Okay. Now he's mad because member function expected one argument. It's supposed to be format options writer, and I didn't do that. So we're just gonna go find it in fucking standard library. I don't remember where it is. This guy, this guy, this guy. Okay. So this is, you know, our thing, but everything else is what they said. Okay. And then we just disable the stuff we don't give a fuck about. Okay. So it looks like all of these guys are empty, which is not great. Not great because I think we just forgot to say that every frame, we also have to update them all. We just forgot. So we should like update this thing with the available size width. And he is going to retrieve the latest and greatest thing and set the content. Fuck! Never works. Who's mad? Get entry. True. I do need to return the thing that I want to return. Much better! Let's go! We fucking finally, after, Jesus, an hour and 20 minutes, have a list of file names. Youchers. Youchers, youchers, youchers. Okay. Let's add some icons. I'm new here. Most added with Linux question. ChatGPT didn't really help. It did suggest something, but I haven't really daily joined Linux in a long time. All right. Well, good luck. I'm not going to answer your question. I'm not going to ask what your problem is, because that's not what this is for. But good luck. Okay. So I want to basically render like, what does like this look like? We have folder icons. We have like app icons. Let's say that we want like basically a file and a folder icon for now. That's the only thing that we're going to distinguish between. So what does like a file icon look like? Yeah, that's reasonable. And then a folder icon. I know what a folder looks like. Let's make some icons. Let's make some icons. Gotta love the Linux community, so helpful. I think that you gotta love someone who just like walks up to people on the street and asks them for like them to stop doing what they're doing and help them. Like we're fucking streaming to like, you know, a bunch of people right now and we're doing one thing. You coming over here being like, stop doing what you're doing, talk to me is like insane. Fucking like, I don't know, man. Figure it out. Like it's not my problem. We're doing something else. It's like if you like fucking walked into somebody's basketball game and like stood in the middle and you're like, guys, can you do my homework for me? It's like, shut the fuck up. That's not what. No, we're playing basketball. Like we're doing something else right now. Okay, let's make some icons. That's what we're doing, right? Okay. How do we want to do this? If I make a drawing on this, what is this like? No, we're not gonna pretend that my image editor is good enough for this right now. We're not even gonna pretend. We could have tried, but no, it's not. It's not worth it. I know it's not good enough, so I'm not gonna do that right now. But it would have been fun. Okay, so what size do we actually want here? Like probably like 32 by 32. There we go. Okay, so let's make a little. Geez, that's really big. So file is gonna look like you're gonna have. This is perfect. This is perfect. And then they fold the corner over a little bit, so it's like this, and we put some text in it. Okay. We're gonna put this in resources. I don't know. I'll figure it later. File icon PNG, and then a folder. So folder is gonna be like kind of like, what color is good for this? Like kind of yellowy, right? Kind of like orangey yellow, like good enough. And then I think that they kind of look like this, maybe with like, I think that we probably want like black outline actually, and then we want to color it in after, I think. So maybe like a little bit of like, you know, something like this. And I guess we should probably try to use up all of the space that we have, huh? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, tell me that ain't a folder. And then like maybe we do like, you know, some background stuff over here. There we go. And then we paint bucket it with this guy. Do we want, does it look better like this? I guess we could do it. We could do something that's like you've got your folder, right? And then you got kind of like a file sticking out of the folder like this, and then you've got like kind of the background. I don't really know what like this is supposed to look like. It also doesn't fucking matter. It really does not matter. There we go. Fuck it. Then like I want this to go up like this or something. I don't know, man. Fuck. Okay, then can we just like get in here with the pencil and kind of get rid of some like garbage? Okay. Uh, fine. That's good enough, to be honest. Good enough. No! No! I saved over our beautiful file icon! No! We have to make the file icon again. Maybe if we undo enough times? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, I overwrote the folder icon! God, my life is so hard. Okay, file is a folder and folder is a file though, so we're kind of chilling. So we can put this folder to file and folder. Okay, we're back. We're back. Don't lose these. F? Oh, you're just saying F because of the shit, not because the stream's dead, right? Yeah, okay, good. You scared me. You scared me. Okay, so I guess now we are going to have to like load those textures. So it's feeling kind of like the widget is starting to feel like it needs some like shared state. File picker shared. Right? So like, you know, I guess like in reality we only have one of these, but like the pattern that we've been kind of following up at this point is that like you have like specific widgets, but they use kind of like globally accessible things, right? So in here, we're going to have like the folder icon as like a render texture and the file icon here, right? And then that means that like every file picker widget that shows up just kind of like uses this shared state. That's kind of like the pattern we've been following. Right? So like in reality, this would live here, like this would live here. And then this stuff is all specific to this instance of that thing. Okay. Then we need to also probably make like a program to render these things. Icon renderer. So this is going to probably be like some sort of like, we must have like a default program for this. XY UVT program, probably, which has like an image sampler fragment shader built in here. Yeah, but I don't know if this is actually used anywhere. Yeah, it is. But yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. Seems pretty reasonable. So we'll like give it a buffer and a transform, and it'll figure itself out. So, and our known uniforms, can we just kind of say like none? I guess we need like transform, probably. Picker, icon renderer uniform is a struct that says that he has a transform. And this is a probably like mat 3x3, I think, because these are 2D transforms. Well, I think that's what they want. They being me in the past. Okay. Cool. So this thing surely is going to need to create these things with probably a normal, like some GUI allocator, maybe just an OpenGL allocator. depends on what this thing constructs with. This thing takes in a OpenGL allocator only. Yeah, okay. So maybe we can get away with OpenGL allocator here. Then this guy is going to take in the folder icon data, probably. And the file icon data, probably. Unless we embed them directly, maybe we do that. Const folder icon data is like folder PNG. Let's do PNG here. And let's say that in the it would be nice if we could just like store these raw. I don't really want the GUI framework to have to like depend on a PNG decoder. That kind of blows. So eventually these are going to have to go somewhere else and we'll think about it then, but for now, we'll figure it out later. So this guy is going to be like yeah, so I guess that means that we'll pass it in here. Yeah. And here we're going to be like make texture from RGBA of this stuff. So maybe we'll say these guys are like this. This takes in our allocator here as well as data and width. Okay. We know that these are 32. Okay, cool. So then this is our file icon is file, folder icon is folder. Surely these can fail. Yep. And then now we can turn those. And then we can make our icon renderer, which should just be like almost the default program. So we use our allocator here, and then I think it was like image sampler fragment shader just sits there. Hell yeah. Okay. Cool. So we have the pieces that we need now. Item height needs to come in here as well, and GUI text shared. So we just kind of slap these here and then here. Okay, which means that when we make the widget, we take in our shared state here. And then we just say like shared is equal to file picker shared. Seems good so far. And then this guy, we just need to make that now. File picker shared is file picker shared initialized with a bunch of stuff. So this is going to have like our, global GUI allocator. I guess he's going to live for the lifetime of the GUI. File icon RGBA is just file. We're going to have to like load these things. So I know that we have STB image abstraction somewhere in here. STBimage.zig. Source svimp STBimage.zig. I guess we can do that. So svimp, I think it's just svimp actually. STB image zig. So now we should be able to be like STB image in it with, he wants a path? Ugh. Alright. We'll just do it this way. We'll do it this way. It's fine. File, icon, image. Okay, and then we have the folder icon image. And these will go here. Data width. All right. Right, it was like, oh, we know the width is fixed. We know what the widths are. Okay. What else do you want? Item height, which was this and this. Okay. Okay, moving some stuff around. Looks like things are starting to get somewhere. This guy is pissed off because what? Int from float, probably. Okay, so now this guy's mad because this thing can't fail, right? So we write try here. No field name. So everywhere that used to get these things directly is now gonna have to like look out to shared, which is fine by me. And then now we have to like render the icons according to the entries, right? So we have these things. First, let's just try to render one somewhere to make sure it works. So can we just be like, self-shared. Can we like just put the icon to the left of these things? Let's just put the folder icon next to literally everything. I think is probably what I want to do. So we're gonna do like so the text bounds here, we're gonna take the left side and we're gonna be plus 32 for now. And we are just going to say icon renderer render some like icon buffer here. Okay. So this guy needs an icon buffer, like some GPU buffer to render from. Which I think we can just do like icon buffer is equal to icon renderer make full screen plain. Yes. All right, we'll do that. And then we'll make some icon bounds, I guess. So this is going to be left plus 32, and we'll do plus 32 here as well, I think. Seems more reasonable, and then we'll try to render this thing in here somewhere. So we need to use the icon buffer here, the GPU buffer that kind of fills it, like the default fills the screen, but we kind of account for that by offsetting the transform here. So the transform here has to be a widget to clip transform related to the icon bounds. Okay, but then where do we get like the sample for this thing? I think the example of this thing was in Glyph Atlas. He uses image sampler uniforms. Oh, we just have that. We can just use that. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we doing that? So then we don't have to create this like stupid fucking icon render uniform. We're gonna ignore the fact that these lines are just like fucking out the fucking wazoo. And now here we just need to like set the image thing somewhere. So he wants a texture. That makes sense. So we're gonna just use the folder texture no matter what here. Okay. And then I think that does what we want. Nice. Should do. All right, let's see if we get the folder icons in there now. Oops, wrong fucking program. Wrong program. Oh, come the fuck on. So there's some pretty clear problems here, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This feels broken. Something is not right here either. What the fuck? First of all, can we make the background actually transparent? Matrix viewport issue? Yeah, it's gotta be, right? So it must be that like our window bounds here. It's happening with everything. Which makes me think it's like related to this like window size thing we did before. Like, does our other application do this? No, this is working fine still. Right, so the fact that like this is doing what I expect and ours is not makes me think it's likely in our widget where we're making the mistake. Yeah. It's probably widget to clip transform. Bounds and window, they do look right. Oh, probably here. I'm probably supposed to set the viewport. And we're probably just not doing that. Oops. Oops. Wrong program again. It's a hard life. There we go, that's better. That's kind of weird. What the fuck? Oh, maybe the scissor also needs to get fixed. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Much better. And then probably each of these guys is rendering on top of each other. I bet you we get to the bottom one, he's full height. Yeah. Okay, so we're close. We're close. Let's try to maybe, I think we have like some sort of like center box in bounds. So we have like a 32 by 32 thing. And we know that. And we're trying to center this in like the available space for the icon, right? So maybe we take like icon bounds, instead of using 32s here, we use the like line height for both X and Y, and then we center a 32 by 32 box in these icon bounds. And then this gives us like centered icon bounds, and then we use the centered icon bounds here. Still not doing what I want. For some reason. Kind of thought that would do it. We did build, right? Yeah. Why the fuck not? Center box in bounds. Oh, this isn't doing like the scaling. Oh, so we just pick any size. Yeah, I'm just dumb. I'm just a dumbass. I think we just use icon bounds here with the shorter sizes, and I think that the texture will auto scale. Yeah, there we go. That's definitely closer. Now, I think we just want to increase the line height. So wherever the fuck this is getting assigned, I think it was like a 1.1 times, because it's like 1.5. There we go. Sure. I mean, it looks like shit. But you know, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Okay, let's try to make the backgrounds of these guys actually transparent. So can we, I think that we can just go in here and type 0 here. Then I can probably paint bucket the outside. Yeah, nice. Then we can do the same for the folder. 0, okay. Paint bucket safe, okay. That's better. Look at that. Look at that. I think that we want to center the text. It looks kind of like a little off. So I think we want to do text area. And then text bounds. Can we do that same things? Center box in bounds where we have the size and the text area. This should end up centering it vertically so that it doesn't look like offset. Like, honestly can't tell if that did jack shit. I think it's here. We want to go item height here. And then it should center vertically? Yeah, that looks way better to me. They look like they're like lining up correctly now, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Next up is we should not mark everything as a folder. We should mark some things as files. So somewhere, I guess in our file picker, when we get an entry now, it shouldn't just return a string anymore, right? This should return like kind, and for now we will only support dir and file, and then the name as well, right? Then here we return entry, which means that our contents need to stash entries. You know, which means that when we do this guy over here, we have to say this is our, when we like walk the file system, we're gonna call this scratch entries, boom, 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 and then this guy is going to hold entries. Okay, now when we append these things, we probably want to do something like name is what we were doing before, but now the kind is gonna be entry kind or something. I guess we're gonna like, this entry supports like many kinds. We only support 2. So I think maybe we'll just have like an unknown, or maybe we just stash the actual kind. That's easier for me. So we'll just do this. We'll do this. Okay. So make some entries now. That's chill. And then this guy, when he gets entry to get the text, he's gonna get the name from that thing. Which he says doesn't exist. Well, then what is it fucking called, you dumb piece of fucking shit? It is name. This guy's mad because I actually have no fucking idea. Probably this. But maybe not. Cannot memcog to consequence. No, it's definitely not that. What the fuck is he bitching about? No member named name in what? File picker entry. Yes, there is. I fucking see it with my eyeballs. My dumb fucking stupid ass fucking eyeballs. Am I stupid? Oh. Shut up. Okay, so this is all the same now. And now we should be able to, maybe we make like an unknown icon as well. I want to put like a little question mark icon somewhere. So can we make this like a little 32 by 32 shit show and draw like the world's shittiest question mark? 32 by 32. Okay. And then I kind of feel like it should be like, I guess it should be like maybe black outline. Tell me I'm not a fucking artist, guys. Tell me I'm not an artist. Save as homework this source unknown PNG. uh so here we need unknown icon here and here and unknown icon RGBA like this. There we go. Okay, so now this guy needs to do the same shit with unknown. And like this. Okay, so now when we are going over each of these guys, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna like look at the icon. Kind, I guess. We're going to look at the retriever, get entry for I, and we're gonna look at kind. And then we're gonna switch on kind. And we're gonna say this is our icon. Okay. And if it's a folder or directory or something, we get like self-shared folder icon. If it's a file, we get file icon, and else we get unknown icon. All right. What's this guy mad about? I actually don't know. Else like this. All right. What happens when we try to build that? He gets mad because unknown icon, it doesn't exist. Did I spell it wrong? Unknown. Unknown. There we go. Wait, it actually kind of fucking works. That's hype. ln-s asdf to, you know, like, and then this guy is not happy. I think that we got the size of him wrong. He's 30 by 30, 33 by 33. If it's not a multiple of 8, the GPU texture kind of warps a little bit. So we'll just fix that. So we need like to just kind of heal this and then paint bucket this to like transparent. Let's try it again. Much better. There's a little question mark. Let's go. I mean, obviously it needs to be a little better optimized for small files, for small icon sizes, but whatever. Who cares right now? Sick. Okay. So I think we can just do, let's do one more thing. One more thing, and I'm going to make it so we can open a folder. I'm gonna make it open a folder on single click, because I think that's pretty easy. I think it's pretty easy. So let's start by, we need to factor out like this location retrieving, right? Like the part of this thing that like figures out the bounds of each of the text elements that are inside. This needs to like live somewhere that we can use on input handling as well. So like what is the thing that we need out of this? We want probably the icon bounds and the text bounds is probably what we want here. Yes, and these things are just calculated like literally, they're like constant calculations almost. because this y offset is just like incremented per element. So I think we can do like get text bounds given probably not a lot. Probably like item height. And widget bounds. I mean, that's probably enough, to be honest. It's probably like, and probably like index, right? So this is going to be like, sure. I mean, I guess technically if these things could, if these things like end up being too large, it's like a fucking problem. But it's fine. Get text area almost. So this is literally just like IDX times item height and IDX plus 1 times item height. And this returns a pixel B box like this. U31. Yeah, so the idea there is that they get cast to I32s a lot. And I just don't want to deal with it. So I just don't. I guess we can use this item size here. Yeah, fine. Text width here. All right. And so we return this, and then this is now get text area here. So this is I, this is widget bounds, and this is item height. And size width. Okay. So that kind of solves that. Then we want what's this mad? Expected type I32 found usize. Oh. Sure. Can we just do this and then cast him on the way in? It's probably easier. Okay, that works. And then can we get the icon bounds here as well? So this is gonna look very similar. Except he's not gonna be offset. So this is like left like this. Yeah, otherwise it's the same. Okay. Cool. So then what's this guy pissed about? Unused function parameter, which one? Text width probably. So then this is get icon area, wherever the fuck that was. Okay. Like this. I thought it was maybe some cache time optimization. Yeah, we're not that crazy. We're not that crazy. Okay, so this guy should just kind of look the way he looked before. Boom. Okay. And then let's make it so now we can add a set input state function. Which will give us input from the parent widget. And we have to do something with it. So I guess we actually kind of wanted something the other way around, huh? But it's fine. Like, really, we should be able to go from, like, exact pixel position on the screen to which element we clicked on. Right? Like, we have, like, if we press the mouse this frame, if we didn't do this, we do nothing. So we're like, wants focus, fuck no, and the action is there's nothing to do. But if we did do something, we're gonna have to say like, change directory probably to some like new path. Okay. Then what? Here we're gonna go like 0 to self. I don't have self here yet. That's why. So for each GUI text, I guess. We are going to try to check if we clicked on this thing. So we're going to say like text bounds. Here is get text area given index, widget bounds, and the item height. And what else is the other thing? The text width. Okay. This is the text bounds. The icon bounds is get icon area, which is very similar, but not exactly the same. Right, and then we take the union of these. So like item bounds is going to be text bounds, calculate union with the item bound, icon bounds, and then if this thing is clicked, then we have to go there. Have a great stream, go to bounce. Later. So we go like if this thing contains the mouse position of input state mouse down location, probably. So if this thing is there, then we click on this. So we say like, what do we want to do here? Maybe we change directory to like an index into that thing. We return like wants focus equals false and action is equal to change directory in I. That will work for now. That won't work forever, but it's fine. We also need to calculate the intersection with the input bounds. We can't click on this thing if it's off the screen. Okay. Who's using a usize here? I here, right? Okay. Expected 0 arguments. True. This is supposed to be calc intersection. I don't know how I fucked that up multiple times today, but it is what it is. Okay, then this guy needs to return this thing. We need like a null return. So can we do like null action is going to be this guy. With a UI action hard-coded for now. This will change later, but we'll come back to it. And then at the end, if we get through all these, we do nothing. Okay, so if we have to like process this action. So, if somebody's like, yo, change directory, or maybe this is kind of just more generally like open, to be honest. So if we get something and we want to open thing, so index here, I guess we go into our file picker and we open on index. And so now this guy, the file picker, needs to do something with that. Right? So presumably he's going to like take his current path and he's going to, I guess now this is owned by us because we have to change paths. Right? So when we construct this thing, we need to probably alloc arena like I'm going to use the general purpose allocator here. that's easier for me for now. Then we're going to free that thing. So we're going to say, we don't have the fucking allocator for it anymore. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a bounded array. There's going to be a max path for now, path size for now. Because I don't really want to deal with this. Eventually, I'll do something different, but this is the easiest thing to do for now. So we'll say here, oh, you know what? We could just even do like std fs max path bytes u8. Yeah, and then this could be a std bounded array. Yeah, sure. That's fine by me, I guess. So then this guy is like, you know, we get like one of these. And then we set him. Can we append slice or something? Yeah, we can. And then this is like this. Then here we can say old path is self path slice. I guess it's literally just like append slice here from the contents at index. But before we do that, we have to add a separator. Okay. That seems reasonable. That seems reasonable. Let's see what happens. So here we go. Did we call update contents? We did. Does that compile? What does this guy want? Oh, he wants the type as well, sure. Fine. Fine. Then this guy needs to be like, everywhere we use this guy, he needs to call slice. If action A, then we switch on the action that we got. Fine, if you're gonna be like that. Then he's mad that 64, we didn't use name here. Fine. Fine. Update contents can fail. True. If you're gonna be like that, fine. Error union is ignored at 377. Fine. And change directory is now open, is what we called it. Okay, so if I click on zig out, bin, let's fucking go! And then if I click on a file, he goes not a directory, but I mean, that's pretty fucking hype. So we can go into here and go to source, text, source, res. Pretty fucking sick, man. Pretty sick. I mean, there's obviously a lot of work to do here, right? But we're somewhere. We're somewhere. If we just put this whole thing in a scroll view, it already feels a lot better. And then we probably want to sort by directory first or something. We want to like add some highlighting. We need to add some like navigation bars. But I'd say that this is a good, you know, initial starting point. I think that there's enough to do that we come back and spend another day at this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another 2 days, to be honest. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that we haven't covered yet. But we have a file listing, so pretty hype. Pretty hype, if I do say so myself. So we'll call it there. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked what you saw, we stream most days at around 12:30 Pacific time to 4 o'clock Pacific time. It is 4 o'clock Pacific time now, so you can do the math to figure out when we would start. If you're watching live and you want to keep up with the projects, but you can't watch live every day, there's a YouTube link in the Twitch description. We have our projects organized into playlists right now. So if you go to the channel and go to playlists, this will probably end up in the GUI framework section. There's also a GitHub link in the Twitch description where code for this will show up under the Svimp repo, Spherophoria's GIMP. I think That's all we gotta do. I guess the 12:32 segment is not archived on the VODs here. Those are kind of like less focused, more kind of like casual segments of the stream, and those are archived on Patreon or YouTube members or in Twitch VODs if you sub. But you can catch them live if you want to watch them then. I think that's it. YouTube, peace out. Twitch, let's find someone to raid.